Guardians of the Forest, Session 1. So, how it starts is you get summoned to. Oh, it's funny. You guys all go to Hong Kong, I guess. You're going to get sent to Hong Kong. And this is weird. So, this is not a SIS mission. It's actually a Section 46 mission.
Huh.
But you're pretending to be SIS as you get loaned out to the Australian version of the SIS. So the background is basically, I think I have a map there. Oh, there it is. East Timor was a former Dutch colony, a former Portuguese colony, and you're joining American and Australian forces that are helping out the Indonesian forces. They're going to sort of put down a revolt there. So basically, they asked SIS to help, and SIS said no way. And then N actually pulled some strings. Is okay, I'm going to send some SIS, quote unquote SIS people to do it anyway. But he's getting some favors, which you don't know what it is. But you're being sent there to do what the Australians want. But in addition to that, they're going to send you on a special Section 46 mission that the Australians don't know about.
Super secret.
Yeah, like a mission within a mission again. So you go to Hong Kong, and then you get driven to the Kowloon Royal Air Force Base. And as you get in there, this is actually Christmas Day. And you see there are people there at the cafeteria at the mess that have roast turkey lunch. As you go in there, what's interesting is you're not wearing military uniforms, so you do like stick out a little, and people sort of see you, but they're ignoring you politely. And you get some of this for lunch. And then they take you to a small office from the buildings, and the entrance of the office, there's 2 soldiers guarding the entrance. Inside is a briefing room, and the army major motions you to sit down, and then he briefs you. Good afternoon. Apologies for bringing you here at such short notice. As you are no doubt aware, Indonesia has sent forces into the former Portuguese colony of East Timor. Both our American and Australian friends are supporting them in this endeavor, and the latter have asked if we can lend a hand. Their intelligence services are rather stretched at the moment and are unable to do all they promised, so they've called us to help them out. Although Her Majesty's government has not agreed anything officially, N has reached out and decided to loan you to us. What the Australians are giving N, I cannot say. Then he pulls out a map of East Timor. He says, this is East Timor. This is the town called Suai, capital of Pova Lima district. The Indonesians are due to secure the area in coming days. You are to help them indirectly. They ask you to open files on your desk, and you see a picture of Lenny Armico. Let me see. Picture here. This guy.
Okay, I'm not seeing anything.
Oh, you don't see anything?
No. Let me refresh. Anybody else seeing anything, or is it just me?
Oh, I know. Maybe this thing.
Yes, I'm not seeing anything. There we go.
All right, now I'm seeing shit. All right, yay.
Yeah, let me put him over so you can see the map.
Looks like Charles Bronson.
Yeah, kind of.
It's an Asian Charles Bronson, I guess. So he tells you this guy is a senior figure in something called Fretilin. It's a governing party of East Timor and the regional head. You are to pose as journalists to gain access to his offices and plant evidence linking him to the communist regime in China. Okay. So this is what they call a false flag operation. You're going to tell, you're going to say this local government is sympathetic to the commies to give the Indonesian army the right to come in and take over. So this will bolster the support for Indonesians within both Australia and America. So when they publicize this, they'll have proof of a Fretilin Chinese operation. Let's see. And they say, and that's basically it. They want you to go in there, plant some evidence, pretend you're journalists, British journalists, and then plant evidence. And then when the Indonesians come in and invade their town, they're going to search through this guy's stuff and they're going to find this evidence you planted.
All right. Sounds easy enough.
Let's see. So, but here's the special mission. N wants you to investigate a 1938 disappearance of the Mason expedition. There's a guy called Bernard Mason. He's a New Zealander anthropologist looking to contact a remote tribe supposedly living in the mountains north of Swai. His team went into the East Timor hinterland before disappearing. But with the shadow of World War II looming, attempts to find him or what happened to him were stymied. In the aftermath, Bertrand Mason and his expedition were forgotten. A couple years ago, a contact in Japan handed in a diary once belonged to Morris Cooper Chambers, a member of the expedition. This diary included previously unknown information about the plans of the expedition and named the 3 guides hired to lead them into the mountains. 2 of these have been unable to be traced. The third is Lenny Americo, that same guy. So after you frame Americo and his superiors for receiving communist backing, you are to persuade him to lead you into the mountains to retrace the steps of the expedition. His cooperation is vital to your success, so you must also ensure he does not fall into the hands of the Indonesian military. They're likely to deal with him in a harsh manner. Let's see.
Yeah, I was just saying for our last missions, any indications, so we'll wait.
I guess they're afraid if the Indonesian army gets their hands on him, they're going to execute him or something. Then he won't be able to lead you into the jungle. So the expedition was to investigate local animalistic beliefs. Mason believed they would be truer to the original beliefs on the island and less likely to be influenced by contact with the Catholic Church. And looked into what information exists about these beliefs and does not like what he discovered. He cannot be sure, but he suspects the activity of the other enemies. Discovering the fate of Mason's expedition may well confirm or dispel this notion. Hence, the mission. You'll be leaving a commercial flight to Darwin in a couple hours, and from there you'll be on a fast boat to the area. You arrive in Soy in 3 days' time, and you have questions, you will answer them.
We allowed to take our weapons with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you'll be journalists, but yes, you can take your weapons, but nothing. They have to be hidden, right, when you visit the rebels, or, well, the local. I guess they're not rebels, but they're like the local government.
Well, if I bring my really big pants, I think I can put the bazooka in there.
Yeah. For the equipment, they will give you backpacks, army rations, a pair of hunting rifles, handguns, parangs. They're like these machete things. Rope, rainproof military ponchos, clothing, boots suitable for jungle. That's what they will provide you with.
Can we get some kind of small little toolkit as well?
Yeah.
They got any bug spray?
Yeah, that bug spray.
Yeah, that'd be
Find
good.
your kit.
It's going to be interesting seeing a 65-year-old man do some hiking.
Well, you're supposed to be a journalist.
Yeah, no, but if we want him to lead us into the mountains to see where the guy in 1938 disappeared.
We got to the last mission, all right.
Yeah.
Any
Although we should have shelter.
Hopefully, I don't have to kneecap someone this time.
I've heard about this. I'm sure this Mason guy has been mentioned in another Cthulhu game. I'm trying to think which one.
So you have a question about Mason. Well, he was a fellow at the Otago College in Dundee, in affiliated college, University of New Zealand. 2 prior expeditions in late 30s. He visited several Pacific islands. He visited East Timor while preparing the ground. These visits were normally for a week or 2. 1 week was in 1936 and 2 in 1937.
Visiting islands in the Pacific is not going to be.
Other members of his expedition there's a Thomas Parkinson. It's a fellow of Auckland College, also affiliated with the University of New Zealand. He's a couple years older than Mason, and he had plenty of field experience. Another member was Charles Chubby Henderson, the only Australian member. He's from University of Sydney, early 30s. He was the first. Oh, it's his first expedition in the field. Morris Cooper Chambers, a PhD student from Otago College. He's one of the 2 Otago students on the expedition. There's a Florence Flo Simpson, was another PhD student from Otago.
What age was he when he went missing, Mason? Just wondering if he could still have actually been alive.
Let me see if I can find his info. I don't know if he might be still alive. He would be in his like 80s or 90s by now, I would think.
Wait. So it's 1974. He went missing before World War II?
Yeah, it's like they went missing like in the
1938.
the 30s, right? Late 30s.
So that's about 35, 40 years.
Yeah, 40 years, and if he's a PhD professor, he's probably already 40, so he's in his 80s, right?
So if he's alive, yeah, he'd be extremely old. So I doubt he's still around. Unless he's incredibly lucky and incredibly spry.
You never know.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like we have a living example walking around with us.
Well, you know, Charlie's an exceptional specimen for his age group.
So
he's the example they all strive to be.
He's like the George Burns of spies.
they're gonna give you fake IDs, the journalist IDs.
Okay,
They'll
so
also give you an Indonesian security pass so that you can show to any troops or officials. But he warns you that you should be careful not to show the East Timorese, because if they see that you have these passes, then they will assume you're working for the Indonesians.
So East Timor is its own country?
Yeah, I think it is. I have to look at the history, but I suspect Indonesia took it.
So we're going in under the guise of journalists to interview this guy, then plan evidence. Then once the evidence is planted and the heat's building on him, we say, hey, look, come with us. We'll help you out. You just got to do this thing with us, and we'll straighten everything out. And we go into the jungle with this guy because he like knows the jungle, and hopefully find out what really happened to this expedition.
That sounds like a good plan.
Or alternatively, if he doesn't agree, we'll just grab him, tie him up, and threaten him, and walk him through the jungle.
Yeah, because that will never backfire on us at all.
Not if he's tied up.
Have we got any way of contacting you if we get lost in the jungle or if we need help in the jungle?
No.
No kind of radio or...
Yeah, you won't have that equipment. You may have to get back into Hawaii and then use a telephone there.
I take it will we have any other help on this island with us? Or?
Well, the Australians are providing transport to Sway with a reasonably fast ship. They will transport most of your fuel equipment on your flight to Darwin. On no account should you allow the Australians to examine your additional equipment. They have no knowledge of extra objectives, and seeing your camping equipment may give the game away. They will also retrieve you from the area once they receive a prearranged signal.
And do we know what the prearranged signal is?
Yeah, so basically it's the go to near the landing point and blink your flashlights or something like that, right? And then they'll bring the boat back around to pick you up.
Is it just me, or is it that picture of the guy? Do you think that the thing he's smoking was drawn as an afterthought because you can actually see his face behind it?
Yeah.
I was thinking, something looked wrong there, and I just realised what it was.
And they were too lazy to erase part of it, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I can't think of any more questions. I bet you guys.
Nope.
Okay, but do we have any idea about what this thing we're afraid of that they're going to be worshiping is?
They're not sure, but they think it's some of the similar things you've run into before when you've done work for N.
Which always turns out good. My character would just like once for everything just to go back to being hoaxes.
But that's the stuff you do between these missions, right?
Yeah. My guy was the guy that would basically be hired by people to break into cults, take people out and deprogram them, and basically disprove the cults until he ran into the Esoteric Order of Dagon, and then.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
So
you were the Scooby-Doo, went to rip the mask off, and you found it's not a mask.
Exactly. And then he has to question every decision he's made before that about telling them how everyone, they're lying to you, it's not real.
So you take a first class. I don't know what BOAC, but you take a first class flight that takes you to Darwin, and then you take a runway tarmac. When you get there, it's really hot and humid. Because it's Australia, it's the opposite weather. So It's Christmas, so it's summer, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you get there, a BOAC official takes you to a waiting room. He welcomes you to Australia. Glad to have you helping us out. Worked with you Palms in the past. Name's Tully, Pat Tully. This guy. And his cigarette, I think, is erased properly.
Yeah.
And he has a mustache.
Yeah.
We have a
Everybody looks like it's like Charles Bronson influenced the style or something. You know?
Yeah. No, we were making jokes last time because we kept dealing with people, and I'm just like, we can't trust you. You don't have a mustache.
So all these guys are trustworthy people. Then.
Yes. Well, except for the guy we dealt with last game who had a mustache, who was like a prick, and I'm like, you don't deserve that mustache. You didn't earn that.
So they have a shuttle bus to take you straight to the harbor.
Oh, wow.
Tells you to unpack and brief, then you can be briefed on board. And then he drives you through the streets. You see a large number of badly damaged, demolished homes. He goes, Cyclone Tracy came through here Christmas Day last year. Flattened half the city and pretty much bashed everything else. Lost 70 people on that day, and most of the city was evacuated. They've started to come back, though. Cyclone season can be a bitch, and that's no mistake. Should be okay getting you to where you want to go, though. Forecast is pretty good, all things considered. Should be all right getting you back as well. Then he takes you to a small ship, welcomes you to the Cthulhu.
Wait, if that's not foreshadowing, I don't know what is.
No, I'm sure it will not come back into play whatsoever.
So
we weren't told of cyclone season in the first brief, were we?
You see this boat, but the guns are hidden. This is a special Australian SIS boat. It's small enough to get to most places you want, big enough to hold her against anything that might come along. And yeah, so the guns here are like not visible normally, and they have ways of opening up things or mounting the guns up there when needed.
The bigger the guns, the better. Charles would much prefer a seaplane line, but
And he repeats exactly your same mission, not the end version, just the ones about planting the fake information. And he hands you the documents you are to plant. It's basically fake forged correspondence between various communist Chinese officials and Americo and its staff. Also, some communications about allowing the Chinese to build a naval base in the Timor Sea to show that the locals there were going to protect Chinese interests. And then he gives you your journalist license, a lightweight typewriter, several cassette recorders, microphones, notepads, cameras with plenty of film and flash bulbs or light bulbs. And he tells you there's 2 Indonesian officers you need to contact if you run into their forces. There's a Colonel Yati Kaniago and a Captain Sausalio. They're both intelligence officers. And these will be the guys that will discover the planted evidence.
Who's the second guy again?
So this guy... This one is Captain Nantes, Nantes.
no moustache.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm like no mustache again. Don't know if I can trust this.
And then this other guy.
And no
Oh my,
cigarette.
oh my
yeah,
God.
there we go.
All right,
Yeah.
I can't trust that moustache or the smile. I'm sorry.
And this guy is his underling, Captain Suslio. So both of these will be.
Are
They will-
we
they-
sure it's not the same guy, just with like a mustache drawn on him?
So he tells you, yeah, these guys are intelligence officers, and they will discover your planted evidence. So if you run to issues with the Indonesian military, you can name drop these guys, and they can get you out of trouble.
So we also have the security documents for that purpose to identify ourselves.
Yeah, you have to get through checkpoints and stuff.
Yeah.
But they say those you need to put in a very safe place and make sure the locals don't see that you have them.
Back pocket it is. All right.
What? No rental storage? Like nothing?
It's up to you where you want to.
Had to make them work for it a little bit.
Yeah, maybe you just stick it in a cigarette pack, right?
Yeah, there you go.
So the trip is actually calm and nothing happens, no storm. You get you arrive off of Swade the third day out from Darwin. So I guess it's a 3-day boat ride. Jeez. And it anchors in a isolated bay where they're met by an Indonesian agent who introduces himself as Bam Bang.
Bam bang.
Yeah, Bambang, and he drives you to Sway. In one of the few, and he tells you, "Oh, this car good. Very few cars in Sway. I you have royal treatment." And he dropped you off in the town, and then he just drives off. Let's see if I have pictures of.
I was gonna say they have a funny way of treating royalty.
So I found pictures of Sway. This is what it sort of looks like.
Wow. Was that before or after the tropical storm?
I assume these are modern pictures, but this is what it looks like. It's sort of rural, right?
A little bit, yeah.
I was gonna say I see a lot of tin roofs.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's the other issue. I think I have to give you a translator, right? You guys don't speak Portuguese.
I think we can nod a lot, but I don't think that's going to be helpful.
Nod and smile.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so either you have some weird invisible NPC that can help translate, or you can hire somebody in town. What do you want?
I take it he's like dropped us off at a hotel or something, or
Yeah, he just drops you off in town, and it says he just drives off. He probably doesn't want to stick around because he's already doing something illegal, picking you guys up at the bay, right? If you want a translator, maybe you can recommend somebody.
Yeah, there you go.
That'll work.
My cousin, Boom Bang.
Yeah, he has a cousin that you can introduce.
Yeah.
I think that'll be good enough.
Yeah.
Like you said, you could be that. You can be that one guy that's infatuated with American culture that has like an American flag button-up shirt, cowboy hat.
And I couldn't figure out what this weird church that was sort of destroyed or partially destroyed is. I couldn't figure it out. So, but it's prominent in a lot of pictures. Like here's another.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I I have no idea, but
Looks like it's under construction.
could be. Yeah.
Because I can see all the support, all the little support.
Yeah, I see that in a
lines
couple
and
of pictures
everything.
when I looked up this this town. So I have no idea what it is.
It looks old.
Was it one of those cathedrals that was constantly being built, or was it a native temple that was taken apart by the missionaries and repurposed?
I think it's. I doubt that's a temple because
I think I can see a cross in the front.
Yeah, I think it might be a new church of some sort,
There's-
out of concrete, right,
Yeah.
It looks like it's concrete.
to withstand the storms. So maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it was originally something else, because that happens a lot especially with the Catholic missionaries. They'll come in and raise the temple, or they'll repurpose it, and suddenly, bam! It's a shrine to Saint whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So you notice that this town, yeah, I guess the description is, it is sort of like that, where it's
chickens all over the place.
a couple thousand inhabitants. It's mainly a fishing village with small boats.
Is this like
just small shops and other businesses.
Is this the capital, or is this just the town that the guy is
Oh
in?
no, it might be.
Wow,
It's probably a Google thing.
this place is an armpit.
Yeah, why would
I bet it's some armpits, but yeah, this is.
That's why.
I ought to know.
Don't care, right?
Huh?
It's a sub-district.
So doesn't even rate a suburb. It's a sub-district. Okay.
Oh, in the future, 1999, there was a church massacre.
Ooh.
I think I also have some local people pictures. I think these are the. No, I think that. No, maybe that's later.
As long as they haven't got the international because it's a fishing town.
These are the local people. Let's see. Yeah, here's another guy. He's a leader of the
It's back 10, isn't it?
Yep.
Fretilin, Fretilin. So very reminiscent of like Cuban type of stuff, right?
Okay.
And these are period pictures of the group you're going to try to frame.
Yeah. I'm just doing a little light research on this, and it's not good.
Doing a little time machine thing.
I'm hopping in the time machine, and it's like, no.
So, yeah, so here's more pictures of the friendly locals, right? That you guys are going to frame these innocent locals.
They look like such nice people.
So yeah, seeing this, you figure, well, maybe it's not really framing. You're not framing innocent people. You're framing guilty people, like Charlton Heston. What was that movie with Orson Welles?
So
Yeah.
this is akin to the cop. You know the guy's a drug dealer. You just couldn't find any evidence, so you put a gun on him.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Basically, I'm just like, I don't know. I might have to add a couple things to that file.
So it's not, you hear this mission, it's like, oh, this sounds like dirty pool, but now that you go there, you look around like, oh. Like whatever initial sympathy you might have had for them may have vanished. Which is funny because in the scenario they don't have these pictures. I looked it up and go, oh, holy crap.
Well, this is out of the game, but I was just looking at the Wikipedia page. It was basically saying that East Timor declared its independence, and then like a year later, Indonesia came in and said, "Hey, this is some mighty fine jungle you got here. This is all ours now. And I guess only about 10, 15 years ago, they got their country back.
Yeah. So basically, it's another sort of screw up. So,
Yeah.
But it's cool. This game, you get all this history that you don't know about. All this stuff happens all over the world, and you're totally blissfully ignorant.
I've gone on to sort of Google Maps just to have a goosey.
All right. So,
Yeah, you got dropped off in the middle of town, and then some people like see that you're there, and they come up.
so wait, what's our cover again? We're journalists, but
You're journalists.
Who are we journalists for, and what are we doing here?
That's
Are
our
we-
job to make that up.
Yeah.
Are we like National Geographic or something?
There you go.
You know, at least when I get some,
You could be National Geographic, but
Yeah.
basically, you could be that. They were hoping you're more like these guys. The locals were interested in having you foreign journalists come in to show their side of the story.
all right, well, we'll give you like
So you could be like you could be
Newsweek or whatever.
London Times or something.
Yeah, Times, something like that. You know,
The National Geographic would work too. Then
National Enquirer. No,
the Sun.
we're looking for Bigfoot.
Looking for the Bat Boy. Have you seen the Bat Boy?
How about Elvis and Kennedy? Are you now? Elvis is still around now. How about Kennedy? Have you seen him yet? Living in the jungle.
So I would say they'll find somebody that speaks English. They see you guys, and some guy says, "Oh, Western journalists,
Yes.
want you to take pictures of us and write our story."
Sure.
Because we were originally a oppressed Portuguese colony.
Yeah, oppression and imperialism are an awful, awful thing.
Yeah, and we want to show you how we're like bootstrapping ourselves and and becoming a responsible government.
Yes. We would love to write about your totally unique position.
Let us take you to our offices so we can talk to the people there.
Well, this is going to be easier than I thought.
Wait, are there dogs?
Oh yeah, there are dogs in the street. Yeah.
All right, so I start taking pictures, just getting some candid shots, pretending like I know what I'm doing.
Maybe you take some of these pictures, right?
Yeah, that's me too. Yeah, that's my watermark, man.
Yeah. Like, oh, we're gonna have pictures of people with like machine guns.
Yeah.
People. Look how naive and innocent they are.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you see the flag in the back. Don't you see the FRE?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're saying, yes, we want to show we are a strong government. We can protect ourselves. Yes.
They're going to need more than a Mac 10, mate.
Well, they don't know this. So they take you to an office. You see strips of paint are peeling away from the walls. The furniture is even worse. Some of it's just like they may have taken like a tree trunk or something and use it as a table leg or something like that.
Wow. Okay.
The chairs are uniformly uncomfortable. Tables and desks are used by activists all wobble on the uneven floor. The roof leaks when it rains. There's cracked buckets and containers all over the floor to catch the rain that comes down through the roof.
I hope the government has better construction than this furniture does.
You see piles of paper scattered on the desks, several battered filing cabinets and drawers.
How many people are in this office?
I'd say since your arrival is like a big deal, maybe in the office, maybe 10, 15 people, but it looks like the outside there's all these people, and they're here for a photo op too, right? Like maybe somebody told them you were showing up. Maybe some other group came and said you guys were coming, so somebody laid the groundwork for it.
Maybe I take it this is the office where we've got to lay the evidence.
Possibly. I mean, this is their headquarters.
But there's too many people. It's like, yeah, everybody turn around.
You might have to come back later, you know?
Or, being as they want a photograph,
Everyone outside.
yeah, maybe
Everyone outside.
Photograph, and
Yeah,
then
there's that photograph with everyone with their fists raised.
yeah, and then once they get the photograph taken, plug the evidence and hope for the best.
Oh, you want to get the whole group out to take the picture?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense.
All right. So who's the sneakiest one here? I got 78 in stealth.
Let's see. I have
20.
I have 70 for stealth.
All right. So who wants to sneaky? You or me? Well, I mean, what would it be? Just a straight stealth, or would it be tradecraft, or what?
No, I think it'd be a straight stealth. These are not spies, so they don't have like the tradecraft things to go against you. So it's be straight stealth, but somebody has to. So depending on how well you convince them to take the picture, depends on how many people you empty out of the office. Right?
My charm is almost non-existent. So
Charm was 15. I got persuade of 20.
I don't think I can intimidate them into doing it. That's literally how I ran through the entire last game, just intimidating just everybody.
No, nobody's charming.
Yeah.
no, we don't have a charmer here.
No, my charmer vanished into obscurity.
So whoever's the best one could try, and then we'll just see how.
I've got a persuade of 20.
I could try a charm. I could.
So your charm's better, okay.
I'll give it a shot.
My charm is 16, so no. Spend some luck.
11.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, I got it.
that's all like a hard success.
Yeah.
Yeah. They go do this, and then this. So this guy shows up, right? And he goes, "Oh, the reporters are here. Yeah. Let's all come out. Get a picture taken
With his badly drawn cigarette.
Yeah. This guy looks like an older version of the young guy with the machine gun, right?
Yeah.
What was on stick?
Okay.
Sunglasses. Sorry, never mind.
Right,
So
it's all lined up now.
Inside maybe there's one or two people still, but most of the people are outside to be.
All right, so I'm gonna try to plant the evidence. I got 78 stealth. I'm gonna try to plant that.
Why don't you do a spot hidden first?
Spot hidden. Let's see. Got a regular. Oh, no, I got a hard success. I was looking at the sleight of hand. Never mind.
So you're looking around. There's a pile of stuff, and you see the file cabinets.
Yar.
And the file cabinet, one of them, it's locked, but it has the keys. Like where the lock is, like somebody left it hanging. So.
All right, so I will unlock the file cabinet and.
Okay, well, now you need to do your stealth, so these guys don't see you. These two guys in the office don't see you doing this.
Let's see. I got another hard success.
Oh, okay. So maybe you block it with your body as you unlock it and slide it open.
Yeah, I just wait till I wait till they're looking outside at the photo op, and I just definitely open it up and
you're gonna slide the stuff in there.
Yeah, just slide it on in.
Slide it in, or try to put it in far back of the cabinet or something.
I'll put it someplace in the middle.
Okay. So as you do that, you notice there's the cabinet you open. There's you see that it's like obviously you can't read the language, but it's very clear it's like a membership list because it has names, right? It looks like names and addresses.
Sleight of hand.
Yep. Stuff it down your shorts, man.
Yeah, well, my sleight of hand sucks too, but so sleight of hand down my shorts. Why are you crinkling when you walk? A lot of starch, man. A lot of starch.
Yeah.
My cleaning lady hates me. So then a sleight of hand roll then, I guess?
Sure, yeah.
I am going to spend a little luck.
Ah,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to spend 6 luck to make it
okay.
exactly right on.
Good. Maybe you have like a notebook or something. You're a journalist, right? And then you just slide those sheets of paper right underneath your notepad.
And then just leave an IOU in there.
IOU.
And then you have to close the cabinet door back again.
All right, is that another stealth?
No, that's it's with the first stealth.
All right.
Meanwhile, outside, all you can hear is, right, show me your best side. Oh, the camera loves you.
That guy in the back. I don't see his
good.
like.
Is it there? Okay, everyone fists up. No, at the same time.
Flexion muscles. Flexion muscles. Yeah, that's
How
all.
are
Yeah,
the people
baby.
back here and you people in the middle aren't?
And you get this picture, right?
It's like that picture that you get when someone's like blinking and like one of their eyes is open.
Yes.
That's the level of composition we're talking here.
So you notice the total is like maybe 50 to 60 people here. And most of them look very sort of ragtag. I mean, even though they may be wearing uniforms, you get sort of total they're not that great. And oh, did I give you the wrong? No, that's so this is the guy in charge.
Oh,
So is that the guy? Wait, is that the guy we're supposed to be?
No, this is
Captain Tens, isn't it?
so right. This is the guy that you're trying to get, right? But this guy's the guy in charge.
Which is why he looks much more official.
Yeah. And yeah, he's willing to show you give you a tour too. He actually shows you, he brings you around, shows you he split up the garrison into 4 groups. They're covering the roads with mortars. But you notice they only like man the mortars with like 4 or 5 people, and that's basically it. And they have a light machine gun in the west, they have small arms.
It seems like a fearsome fighting force.
So we are well prepared in case anybody comes to threaten us. As you can see, we're well trained by the Portuguese. We are all ex-officers from the Portuguese military, well trained by them.
Yes, because when I think Portuguese, I think dominant military power.
So, do you have any questions? Anything else you want to take pictures for your newspaper? I think your people, the British people, will be very sympathetic to our cause.
Thanks. Yes, we British are always looking out to help the little guy out.
Yes, wasn't the Portuguese a friend of England?
Oh yes, yes, very old friends.
Because
The best of friends.
Because Spain, who's an enemy of Portugal, had the Spanish Armada, which.
Well, Spanish Armada was no match for the Great British Navy.
Yes, of course. So I could see you would be sympathetic to our cause.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yes. I mean, yeah, we British people, we're like I said, we're not really big on imperialism, taking over smaller countries, inhabiting them, and governing them, and changing them, and molding them to the way that we want them to. Never, not us, ever.
like you say the stream of words, and it looks like he's following some of the words, but not all the words, and he's just sort of nodding.
Are there any threats that you may have or you're expecting?
Well, well, we had just overthrew that coup recently, so we're just afraid maybe members of that coup may try to come at us again and try to do a counter coup.
Of course.
So, and what do you do when you put down all the rebellions and fully establish your government?
Oh, of course we would have equality for everybody and have opportunity for everybody, but it would be East Timor run by East Timorians.
Sounds like something of what the people want.
Yes. As you can see, we have all these people willing to support our cause.
And is the Portuguese military the one who provides you with your weapons?
Oh yeah, well, we had these before, right? When we were part of the Portuguese military.
And have there been any other larger countries that have been supporting your cause?
Oh, we're hoping with this news that you'll bring out that we will get support and monies from other people who would like who are like-minded.
Well, we do hope our articles can generate this for you.
Yes. Well, I think, gentlemen, we had a full day. I will show you to a place where we will let you a hotel that we have that you may stay at. And please, yes, take more pictures and write your stories for us.
Oh, we will. We will most definitely be taking more pictures and writing more articles.
Yes, definitely.
So they take you to some small hotel, right, that you can be at.
So, did you manage to, obviously, once we're all indoors, relaxing, so I take it you managed to do the deed?
Yeah, and I got a little extra too, and I whip out the list of names.
Oh, wow. Jackpot.
So, what's the signal we're supposed to give? Are we supposed to give them a phone call, let off a signal flare?
Well, they'll be there like in a day or two. You're not exactly sure. They assume you'll be done with what you're supposed to do.
Okay, so
what are these papers that you found?
So you look at it, there's some names, and actually you find some of the names of some of the people you spoke to So you can correlate that and realize this is like the names of people. It's like a roll call or membership list for this group. The Fretlian group. I don't know what they call them.
Any names on it that we recognise, or
Yeah, like the guy that the Captain Nantes, his name is in there. So from that, you figure out, yeah, this is just a membership list.
Yeah.
But
Any
it's
unusual
useful.
names in there that you wouldn't expect to be in there that stand
Well,
out, like foreign names?
You don't know because this town has like a couple thousand people. But with your tradecraft, you know that this is useful because now you know who's on whose side versus if, let's say, the Indonesians came into the town with that list, they would know exactly who the Fretlian people are, right?
Yeah.
Because typically in these, like when you were over at Cadenza, right? When violence breaks out, people sometimes get targeted that are not necessarily part of the one side or the other. When the violence goes out of hand.
On the roll call sheet, there's no kind of Western names in there. They all seem to be, names from this kind of country.
Yeah. Because some of the names are Western-ish.
Just wondered if there was any kind of other Westerners that might be, fighting the cause as well that might be worth talking to. But...
Yeah, on the list, there are also some Chinese names too.
Is there anywhere we can do any research, or do we just wait?
So you had seen Lenny Americo around, but when the other guy took you on a tour, Lenny wasn't with them anymore, right? He probably was still in the offices.
Yeah. Well, we need to get him.
So what do we want to do? How are we going to handle this?
You can either wait until the invasion, or so you have time to do research or some other stuff if you want to.
I was just wondering, has this roll call sheet got addresses, did you say?
Oh, that guy is a captain. The Nantes is dressed as a captain.
Has it got any addresses of where they live? Or?
Yeah. It has the people's addresses too, name and address.
Was just going to sort of check out this guy's house, this lady's house,
Oh, okay.
and the captain's house, maybe.
So, do you want to check out Lenny's house?
Yeah, I could just give it a nose.
It's. Oh, I think I have pictures of. Oh. So a number of the houses also look like this. But they're more like community run, like a big family lives in it, right? So there are some that are smaller. And this guy, he has a modest looking house. And it sounds like there's a extended family living in it.
So we want him to be our guide eventually. So maybe we should ask him what he knows about the countryside and the mountains where the expedition went, without being specific about the expedition.
Yeah.
Let's make it sound like interested tourists. We could maybe sweet talk him a bit to say, we're passing by. Do you mind if we take some more photographs of you and your family? And
Is that what you want to do, or?
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
Okay, so go talk to the family, get photographs, and then
Gently pump him for information.
yeah. What are you gonna ask?
So you guys got any mountains around here?
I take it from where we are. Yeah, can we see any mountains in the distance?
Yeah, there are in the distance. This is more flat, right? This is.
Yeah, just politely ask him about like the mountains in the distance and stuff, and say, hey, those look like big mountains over there. Have you ever been there? Those look fascinating.
So you say that. Why don't you do your fast talk? What's your fast talk?
Oh, not very good. 25.
Yeah, try it. The only way to go up if you succeed, right?
Yeah, 53. So no.
So you say that, he pauses, like, and he goes, "So you know."
Know what? That it's the first time I've been here, and I just saw those mountains. It was one of the first things I noticed when we got here, those mountains in the distance, and I just thought they were quite fascinating.
I see. No need to be coy. Yeah, yes. You probably did your research as a journalist to know that I was the only surviving member of the Mason expedition.
Really? Wow! And I just tried to look really amazed and like.
Wait. What's the Mason expedition? Playing all dumb. I've never heard of the Mason expedition. Why don't you tell us about it?
Okay, do your fast talk.
Wow, I suck at fast talk. Yeah, I still suck at fast talk.
Yeah, he's just shaking his head. No need to be coy. Old history. The Mason expedition came here in the 30s, late 30s, and they were looking for guides and porters. And when I was very young, applied for that. Everybody wanted to do it because they paid good money. And yes, I know the slopes north of town. I was strong and fit then, and they offered very good pay. So I thought I found my perfect job.
Wow. I think we've got another story we could write while we're here.
Oh, but as you know, the Mason expedition ran into problems.
No, we don't know. I mean, this is the first we've heard of it, but do carry on.
It's just hard for me to tell you what's happened. Even though it's been so long ago, thinking about it still makes my heart race and just and make me sweat.
Really?
And now that I've came back, I've dedicated myself my whole life to working very hard and trying to make my community better.
You seem to be doing a really good job. And I sort of look around, at the surrounding areas and say that just make it look like I'm showing an interest.
And now I'm like sort of a town elder. I have people come to me for advice and to resolve disputes and everything. I think life is good.
I mean, whatever happened there, surely its life changed you.
Yes. So the Mason group want to look for the Taga people.
The who?
TAGA. There are stories that they lived in the mountains north of here. Very shy, primitive people. Or a myth. The Portuguese never bothered to find out, thinking there was nothing in jungles to interest them. And so the Taga were left alone in their mountains. But Mr. Mason and friends, they want to find them, so off we went. We traveled for several weeks. We didn't know whether we would find them or not. But each day that went by, we got paid more. So it didn't matter if we never found them. Sometimes there were no trails to follow, and we had to cut through the jungle with our prangas. Progress was slow. All of us felt a little bit ill, but not very badly. We saw our first Tanga just 2 days before the disaster fell. A naked savage wearing nothing but a mud helmet. Some sort of giant helmet made out of mud, sculpted out of mud. Who would have thought of such strange things? It had a weird bloated patterns on the surface of the helmet. There were no holes for eyes or nose. So there were holes for eyes and nose, but no mouth. It was just so strange. The Taga fled when they saw us, and the expedition people went in pursuit. But that Taga, he escaped, and they came back empty-handed.
So what actually happened on the? What actually happened then with the expedition? What caused it? You said it was a disastrous expedition, and so what happened?
At night, the jungle was full of noises. There were terrible screeches, sounds, yells, screams, bellowing beasts and grunts. Then it rained, and it was like a cyclone with no wind. It battered us, and the camp was turned into a quagmire, and mud got everywhere and stuck to our clothes, our tents, our blankets. The rain continued day and night, and then we were attacked. We could only see inches from our faces. I slipped on the mud and something barely touched my side, and it was full of agony. Even though whatever touched me just made hardly a scratch, and I staggered off, fleeing for my life. And soon the sounds of terror were behind me. But I knew I was being chased, and I fell down a cliff. And I didn't know where my feet were at all. I was lucky. I found a small river, and I was carried off away from what had happened. And when I finally dragged myself from the waters, I was miles downstream and exhausted. And I lost all sense of time. I became feverish. And next thing I knew, I woke up inside a peasant's home. And later I found out that no one had come back. And I was told there was a flash flood. And since then, I have not gone back there.
Would you be willing to go back there at any point?
No. My life is here.
Okay. So we've got some weird tribes people.
Yes. Why would we? They leave us alone. We leave them alone.
Do you get many cyclones on the island?
No. It's very strange. Felt it was supernatural.
Has anyone else here talked about the Toga people? Toga people? Have they talked about them or met them or
It's just most people's story. No, it's just these Mason people want to find them.
Did he say why he wanted to find them?
He is some professor from university.
Did he have any strange artifacts with him when you were with him? Did you notice any strange artifacts that he might have had with him?
What do you mean by artifact?
Just strange idols or, that kind of thing,
He thinks so. He goes, I don't think so. He brought cameras, very big cameras back then, very big cameras.
And you were the only one to make it out?
Yes.
No bodies were ever found?
No. Their bodies are probably rotting in the jungle somewhere.
Has anyone else tried to go there since that you know of that hasn't made it public?
No, nobody is stupid enough to go there.
Well, we are.
We're just not anybody.
Well, we've got more information out of him than I thought we would, to be fair.
But now we need to wait to twist his arm to actually take us there.
Oh, he'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah, especially since I spiced up that file a little bit. Hey man, if they think being a communist is the worst thing, let's throw some child pornography on top of that.
Wow.
I think that puts you on a. I think that can kind of kick you down to a lower level than Hitler at that time.
So do you want to just wait?
I can't think of anyone else's house. We've got those two captains.
Yeah, I think we should probably just wait. I don't know how much other information we're gonna get tonight.
No big deal. So if you wait in the evening, suddenly you hear gunfire, like all around the town, not just from one side. It sounds like a very big invading force. I don't know if you guys have military. Anybody took the military stuff?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, why don't you roll that?
Of course, we're all higher than my military science.
Yeah, so you hear gunfire all around the town. So you know that the locals, they only had like 50, 60 guys. It sounds like the Indonesian military is coming in with overwhelming force. So they're not just coming in, they're surrounding and then taking over the whole town. Where do you want to go? You hear all this gunfire going. And then you hear the thump of the mortars going off too, right?
Now we know the evidence is in there.
Yeah.
And we know they're going to find it. So should we just go straight to his house to tell him, or do we need to show him evidence that there's evidence of him in that office?
I think the invading force and everything, and just telling him what's going on. We can even just lie and say, "Hey, yeah, they said they found something."
Well, the thing is, we won't be lying. They are going to find something.
Well, they are going to find something, but we can pretend like, "Oh, we don't know anything. We don't know anything about this whole thing. No, we heard that they found something, and that they're coming after you."
Because we haven't got any wheels, have we?
No, and you can't drive into the jungle anyway, and also the town hasn't fallen yet, right? There's still gunfire and stuff going on. You could hear.
I mean, we're not going to get hurt by the Indonesians, are we? Because we've got.
No, we can just wave our our passes around.
So
yeah, just don't put on black camouflage stuff and sneak around with your rifles, you know.
Yeah.
So even if we went to the office, it's not as if we're going to be a target.
No.
So
yeah, maybe if worst case, it's like a accidental gunfire.
So maybe as journalists, we go out to take photographs of the action to make it look like we're trying to get photographs of the
fight. And I say, because nobody's ever shot journalists, ever.
No, never. We'll just have like no film in the cameras.
But that was back in the day when war journalists were actually war journalists and they were on the front line, reporting from the front line. You don't get that anymore, do you?
No, not really.
All right, I'll be right behind you. Way.
So the Indonesian army comes up and sees a geriatric old man walking around with the camera. Snapping pictures in the middle of all the gunfire.
So you hear small gunfire, and then you hear like machine guns and stuff. And when you did the tour, you saw this group only had one machine gun, but you hear lots of machine gun fire and stuff.
Well, it's got to be the Indonesians then. I'm not hearing any mortars, am I?
The mortars, you do hear a couple. I have a picture they gave me of like that. I don't think you want to wander out there.
No, I think it's better to be under some rocks or something.
Building that doesn't look like it can burn down from a stray match.
Yeah, they all look like that, right? They're all thatched like that other one. And the bullets go right through, right? The bullets don't stop anywhere.
Find a foxhole someplace and hang out there for a bit.
So if you maybe 15 minutes into it, the mortars stop. The gunfire slows down, but then it picks up again. So are you guys just going to hole up somewhere until the gunfire stops?
That's my plan.
Okay. How about... Is that everybody's plan?
Yeah, basically.
I think that's a good idea.
Oh, after seeing that picture?
Yeah, I didn't realise it was going to be that bad.
So basically, the Indonesians came in with 400 well-armored troops, like like machine guns and everything, and it's like 400 against 50. And these guys are all military versus the 50 are like militia, young guys that just got a day's worth of training or something. So actually, after an hour, then the Indonesians take over the town.
Yeah, I mean, oh no, that's too bad.
And then you see, where's these guys? You see this guy. And where's the other guy? This guy. So maybe these are the guys in charge of the Indonesian army, and they brought with them a whole bunch of world press, so you see them come in, and they go straight to the office.
Yeah, and
and they're bringing in the press. Like you see French journalists, American journalists, a whole bunch of journalists. Like he brought a whole truck full of journalists that are coming off of a truck, and they're taking pictures and stuff. And then his men go in there and they start going through the paperwork. And then suddenly one guy goes, "Oh, look what we found!" And all the flash bulbs go off, and they take pictures, and they go, and they bring out yes, evidence they are in cahoots with the communists.
So we need to make it to what's his name's hut and let him know so we can get out of here with him.
Okay, yep. So you go to his hut.
Yeah.
So you go to the hut. His hut, his family's there. They're actually all huddled down there, and you will find him there. All right. Hiding out there with all the gunfire and everything.
I turned to him and said, "Hey, look, they just found some documents in your headquarters, and they are saying you're a big-time communist sympathizer and one of the linchpins."
Yes, that's not true. We're here to support our own people, our own independence.
Yeah, but that's not what the Indonesians are saying.
But that's not true at all.
And they're going to come here for you pretty soon, so we need to get out of here.
What?
Thankfully, we did manage to take this off the table without them noticing. It had your name and address in there. So
you have one of the sheets?
Yeah, so we bought you some time.
He goes, "Oh, destroy that! Burn! Here!" He tries to grab it out of your hand. Are you gonna let him grab it out of your hand?
No. I'm gonna. We'll put it back so you can't get hold of it.
He's gonna try to take it.
All right, old man fight. Old man.
He's gonna do a maneuver.
It's just fighting, is it?
You can fight back or dodge.
I want to fight something better. Yeah.
Here, a little crack. Oh, my hip.
No, I failed.
You failed. So he failed too. So he didn't quite grab it.
It's like a slap fight where nobody's just whiff.
So he went. You could do something with a paper or something.
I'm going to fold it up and put it in my pocket. Actually, no, I'll hand it to one of the
older, bigger, younger guys.
Yeah, I'll hand it to one of the younger guys who's got a better,
He goes, but that puts us in danger. We must destroy it.
Well, no, it puts you in danger, but that's we need to get you out of here.
Oh, no, I'm not too happy about that.
Look. All right, look. We'll do quid pro quo. You take us out into the jungle. We need to get to the mountain. We'll destroy this once you take us there.
The mountains? Why do you want to go to the mountains?
That's for us to know, and you maybe never find out.
That's a bad way of phrasing it.
That came out really wrong. I'm sorry. No, I mean, that's all I need to know, and you don't need to know. That's better. Okay, there you go. All right. We just need you to take us there.
He looks at you and goes, promise to destroy that.
I promise, with my fingers crossed behind my back.
That doesn't sound right either.
No, that's what I do. When I say I promise, my fingers are crossed.
Oh, I
behind my
see.
back.
He goes, oh, yeah, maybe jungle's safer. So he
Yeah, we're not gonna.
he grabs some stuff like to go, and then he leaves his family and goes, yeah, I take you a day or two in the jungle. It's safer there.
Yeah, trees don't try to shoot you.
So I take it we've got those backpacks with us, and
Yeah, you have your stuff.
All right.
maybe his family could come with us. You know, extra.
It's like a humongous family, like
Extra
he's
food.
Extra human shield and all. You know.
Cluster your family around us in a circle. We'll be in the center. Nobody move, no matter what you hear or see. All right. So yeah, we got all our equipment. We're gonna head out with him.
Okay.
What time of day? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, has he got a donkey or something? We could put
No,
something- no.
What time of day is it? Is it evening?
It's the evening, yeah. There was a
Alright.
night attack.
Yeah, we should nip out at night.
Is there a donkey as we're walking through the town? Do we see anyone who's got one
Donkey!
that we can actually, like, I don't know, try and get bite off them or something, just so we've got something to carry our stuff?
Just make him carry it.
He's an old guy.
Grab a couple of his sons. Here you go. You're drafted now.
Because I'm just thinking, I'm old, he's old, you know.
Well, he says he needs to get.
I have a movement rate of 4, by the way. So,
He needs to get his stuff
wow.
ready. So then, as you're getting ready to leave, there's a knock on the door, and at the door there's a young man at the door.
Does anybody recognize this guy?
Yeah, he does.
All right.
it's Bruce Lee.
and he talks to
He's definitely got a
Lenny.
look on this if it's Bruce Lee.
I was gonna say looks more like Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
and he goes. So then he tells you guys. He goes, "Oh, this is Ran Nishing. He belongs to a Chinese family here, and he wants to leave with us too."
All right. He can carry the old man stuff.
Yep, there you go.
There's your- Just load him down. Here you go. You can help
Yeah.
out.
All right, good, great. Load him up. Give him all the back. Put all the backpacks on him.
Wow.
Is he trustworthy? I ask it. Do you trust
His
him?
family runs a grocery store in town. Chinese.
Okay.
Of course
Okay.
they do.
Okay. I'm gonna use all my psychology skills and stuff on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see how honest this actually is. 50.
You make it.
Oh yeah. Like-
Yeah. It seems like this guy's sort of nervous too, and he's gotten. He's brought a traveling pack type of stuff too. So whatever you would think they would bring for as he packed his luggage, but not a lot. Just
Okay. I'm gonna look at the guy and say, okay, seems a little weird that he would come directly here so quickly. Since we're the only people that know about this. Leaving
well,
before.
when the guy said they need to pack stuff, it took some time.
Hmm. Yeah.
He's basically, got his plug out bag because he's like, he's worried he's going to get arrested.
Yeah, it's sort of like that. Like when the gunfire started, you assumed a lot of people packed up a lot of stuff when the gunfire started. So there was a whole hour of firefight, right?
Yeah. All right. Like I said, yeah. Like I said, one more's not gonna hurt. And like I said, although I'm gonna give my other two operatives a look, basically saying, "Watch him." I'm not worried about the old man making a move. I'm worried about the young man doing something stupid.
Okay, so he takes you out into the jungle. I think it's one of those. Who has the lowest luck?
I've got. I went down for last week. Oh, 57.
I'm at 46.
Oh,
Ooh.
Mr. 46. You get to roll.
Yay. 18. Haha.
Oh,
Hey.
maybe it's dark and people are busy. You don't run into any patrols.
Awesome.
It's because they're busy going door to door, kicking in doors and taking families away.
Yeah, taking families away, shooting them in the back of the head. Yeah.
Try and hijack a donkey.
Yes.
Grand Theft Donkey.
This is, like, how do you people live out here without donkeys?
I guess you have to do it on a per day basis. So this is near, but you had a hard success, so that's pretty good. And then as you go further out, why don't you do a second day 2?
Another luck roll?
Yeah.
And no, I failed it.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh.
Lock and load.
This is like the opposite of last time.
Yeah.
We had the most uneventful trip through the Civil War zone ever.
Okay, I think so you run to a patrol of Indonesian soldiers. Why don't you guys do a listen roll?
Oh, I got it. 15.
I made it.
So yeah, you hear this patrol coming your direction.
Tell everybody, hide. Get down.
Is there any way to hide, like long grass or?
Yeah, this is all sort of jungle-ish. Oh, let me show you. I found a picture. This is what the area sort of looks like.
Oh, okay, so kind of knee deep in water or something. Or
In some
Hide in
areas,
trees.
like there's some areas there's water, and in other areas, right? Because the aerial view, right, you can tell it's all very jungle-y.
Yeah.
We need one of those hollow straws to breathe through so we can hide in the water.
So yeah, so you sort of hide. Who has the best stealth?
Mine is 78.
Yeah, he has the best. Mine's only 70.
Yeah, why don't you do your stealth?
I made it.
Yeah, so you see Indonesian troops come by. I think I had the picture earlier. Oh. So the Indonesian troops look like that. They're a small patrol, maybe like 6 or 7 guys, like walk through your area.
16.
And in a couple minutes they're gone. In 15 minutes you don't hear them anymore.
All right.
That was close.
And after they've gone by, Um, Lenny goes, "Oh, that's close, very close call," and the Chinese guy looks really relieved too. So as you get further out, why don't you do another luck roll for the third day out?
Nope, failed it again.
Oh no.
So do you guys do listen rolls again?
All right.
Nope, failed again.
Oh, I got a 5.
Oh, yeah, you also hear.
I made mine.
Okay, you both hear another, like, sounds like some people in the jungle. You gonna hide again, I assume?
Yep.
Okay, do your hide.
I am drawing my gun, by the way, just in case it all goes south.
Made it.
Oh, okay. So you hide, and then actually a group of not Indonesian soldiers, but you see a ragtag team of Frillian guerrillas sort of go by.
Mm.
And that's actually probably when
We get attacked by a giant mutant
then
crocodile.
you will actually pop up out of the underbrush. he pops up with his hands up, and he says some.
But who pops up?
Your guide,
Okay.
Lenny Americo.
All right.
God damn it.
He pops up with his arms up and goes, and he says something in a foreign language you don't understand, and then the gorillas turn towards him, and he's waving at them.
Yeah, we don't need this.
Yeah, wait, don't we have like a translator with us?
No.
Or did he not come with
a-
us?
Not if he. I don't think anyone speaks Chinese.
No, this is Lenny. I think he probably speaks the Portuguese as the local language. So he's speaking Portuguese to these guys.
Yeah.
I look at the Chinese guy. What is he saying?
Oh, he's saying hello,
Okay.
and
Can I tell detective he's lying?
yeah, you can do that.
Do psychology.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh, my psychology sucks. I forgot. This is not that character. Oh, I'm going to spend 2 points.
Yeah, and then Lenny like points in your direction, right? And he asks the Chinese guy to stand up. The Chinese guy stands up with his arms up too.
Crap.
And now, like you see, it's like about sort of 10 gorillas there.
Oh, we're outnumbered.
But you know, they don't have machine guns. They're more like the pistols and things like
Machetes.
that. Irregulars, right?
Yeah. Okay. Let's figure out which one. Let's figure out which one the leader is. We'll either intimidate them, or we'll just kill the leader and snatch him and go.
I actually need to step out for like 5 minutes to go make a phone call. I'll be
Okay.
right back. Sorry.
I can't see why he would want to grass us up there, as in, you know.
My impression is he might just want to shake us down for the documents and not take us where we want to go.
Well, you didn't really explain where you wanted to go yet, right? So you just say in the jungle. He's in the jungle, and he found some friends.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, we said the mountains.
Yeah, but hey, it's safety, right?
Yeah.
Maybe for him, but it doesn't suit our needs.
Well, that's your problem.
Yeah, it's about to become his problem pretty quickly.
Well, I'm going to stay hidden with my gun drawn.
Okay, so you guys staying hidden. The Chinese guy goes up to him and he's talking to them. And then he turns back to you guys and says, "They know you're here. Why you might as well just stand up."
Yeah, except if these guys are militia and they end up finding those friggin' documents that we have on us, this is just gonna get worse.
Well, you know he wants the documents off of you, right? You showed it to him. So.
Yeah, well, he wants it. Yeah, like I said, yeah, he wants those, but yeah, okay. Well, like I said, the only way this is gonna work, we're gonna have to try and negotiate something.
I'm going to stay hidden for now.
Like I said, I'll have. Like I said, yeah, I can have. I'll have my character pop up and
Okay.
and get him. Like I said, go over to try to negotiate with them.
Okay, what do you want to do?
Basically have his hands up, and like I said, he'll have his hands up, and he'll walk over, and ask who's in charge.
Yeah, so there's some guy in charge, right?
Okay, so he's gonna tell him he's gonna tell him exactly what happened. He's gonna say that the Indonesian army attacked. They're fleeing the village, and he points at the old man. He says this man is supposed to take us to safety.
Yeah, so he goes, "Well, you can come with us.
Where are you going?"
We have a camp.
Where's the camp?
In the jungle. But it'll be safe.
I find that answer vague and unconvincing.
Yeah, it's not like they have a map and a compass and a lat long coordinate for you.
Yeah, exactly.
They basically tell you it's somewhere safe. You'd be safe with them.
Yes, I need street names and references. It's just actually, we think the mountains would be safer.
You go, no. You come with us. You know, we have a camp with others, and it'll be safe there.
No. I don't think you understand. We need to go to the mountains.
Yeah, do persuade or fast talk or something.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll word it like this. Okay, look, we are not going to that camp. We are going to the mountains. This one and this one are coming with us to do this. Now you can either help us, or you can just go, or you can just pretend you didn't find us. 20. So success.
Well, what's your intimidation and what's the
my intimidation's 54. Just got a 20.
Hard.
That's a hard, yeah.
But the other guy says, you know, I don't want to go with these guys. You know, he tells the leader, like, I want to go with he wants to go with the
with the militia.
and then he brings up obviously he must bring up the list or something, right? Because then the other guy looks at you and he says you have a list.
Look at that mustache. Are you gonna believe anything he says? I said you shouldn't believe him, especially from what we're hearing.
Yeah. They're pointing guns at you, and he goes, and he's giving you the option to hand over the list, but if not, it's clear that some guy's going to go through your pockets.
We may have to wait for Dave because I'm hidden. I want to do a surprise like shot with my gun.
You're going to open fire.
But we may need to wait for Dave because we're going to need all the help. All the help we can get.
There's 10 of them.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey, all we have to, like I said, all we really have to do is get rid of the leader. Hey man, all it took was the butler last time.
we can make it sound like they're getting, ambushed or something.
Well, okay, we'll wait for Davey. This is pretty important.
Yeah.
But basically, we're paused right where the guys sort of they have rifles pointed at you. One guy is like, the leader has a rifle pointed at you and his hand outstretched to get the papers from you, right?
Right.
Yeah. and at that point, I'm basically saying there's only, like I said, but okay, there's only 10. Let's see if I can up the ante on this. I'll basically say that I can basically say, okay, like I said, this guy's a wanted criminal for the Indonesian military. They're surrounding this area right now. If you don't let us go with him right now, with this list intact, which is the only insurance policy he's going to have to get out of this situation, and you guys are going to have to get out of this situation, you're all going to die right here. You're severely outnumbered. There's no way you're getting out of this alive unless you just take off right now.
And I come back for drama. Yay.
Well, we should describe it. Basically, there's 10 gorillas with rifles out. And then the old man said something to this guy, and then he's asking to get the papers out of Jack's pocket.
Eat the paper.
And now he's trying to fast talk them. I'll tell you what. I'll let you either keep that 20 you rolled for your fast talk, or you need to re-roll.
Okay. I'm gonna re-roll that then. Let's see if I can get something better for that. I got a 2.
Oh.
Yes.
So the guy is like, "Here's this," and then he yells at the old guy for a minute. The old guy looks sort of puzzled and says something else, and you're not sure what's going on. And then you notice the gorillas sort of back off and melt into the jungle.
I uncock my gun.
And the Chinese guy's like looking confused. He's looking at those guys disappearing. He's looking at you guys, and he's just standing there like he doesn't know what to do.
Don't ever tell me the odds.
Ooh, that was close. I was prepared to take the shot. I really was.
Well, I was fully ready to get to deal with 10 gorillas.
Jack would have been filled with so many holes.
Yeah. And the thing is like he's not even particularly very good at most of his skills when it comes to this stuff. Like he's really not. Most of his points are in like intimidation or psychology.
Yeah, well, your fast talk might go up after that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the third day of wilderness. And I think after that, there's no more like patrols because they're more closer to the town, right? So you're further out.
All right.
And then most days there's rain and heavy downpours that last about an hour every second day.
Wow. Okay.
The heat is but the heat dries out your clothing like in an hour or two. It's like your clothing is dry after an hour.
I think I'm ready for my third shower today.
Yeah, China's not coping with this at all.
So because you haven't really, I mean, meta, we know you're heading up there, but you haven't told Lenny that that's where you're heading towards those natives, right? I assume at one point you tell him that's where you want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's got to get to a point where we've got to say, yeah, this is where we want you to take us, and remember, we've still got the list.
Yeah, then let's use that 20 intimidate here then, right?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and use that there.
And we know where you live.
and you guys have guns.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, with the intimidate, he will take you to these people, even though he's not too enthused about it. So I think it takes weeks to go up there, and then at one point, you're up in the mountains, and finally you come into a clearing, and there's posts driven into the ground, and there's skulls of snakes and monkeys and colored feathers hanging off of these posts.
I'll ask him, okay, does this look familiar?
He goes, I have never seen anything like this before, but he's heard that primitive tribes do things like this to mark their boundary. But he said when he came with the Mason expedition, they didn't see anything like this.
Well, maybe they're expanding their border lines here.
Probably.
And you can roll anthropology if you have anything. I don't think you guys do, so it's...
No. Well, let's see if I get not one.
Oh, come on. Yeah, see if we can do one.
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
Okay.
Yep, those are definitely some skulls and feathers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. And then it looks at that, and Jack looks at that, and it's just like, huh. All those animal carcasses are making me hungry.
So you're gonna go past these posts, right?
Yep.
Sure.
Okay. So you go past the posts, and then maybe another day later, you see a rock face that's been sort of changed. Like somebody added mud and stuff and rocks and stuff to this rock face. And they drilled holes. So they made it look like Mount Rushmore, except for like a lot smaller, like maybe 20 feet high type of thing, right? And what you notice that's unusual is where the lips are. Somebody had drilled holes in the rock and then put like wove vines where the lips are, and sewed the upper and lower lips together on the rock face. And you can tell there are some old vines that have dried and withered, but then there's some fresh ones.
What if this thing's
didn't have mouths, did they?
Yeah, the mask had no mouth.
Something tells me communicating with these people is going to be a little difficult.
Say to Lenny, does this look familiar to you? Have you seen anything like this before?
He goes, no, like I told you the story. And then he thought, I go, well, the masks the man wore had no mouth. But he goes, but that doesn't look like the mask. The mask he said described looks like a bowl that's been turned upside down, right? But like he tells you, like I said, like it was only like a day or two after he met that native that they were attacked. So,
Oh, close by. Where you met them? Is this familiar?
I think he thinks on. He goes, I think we may be past where the expedition went.
Huh.
Well, that's sort of good, isn't it? And although I do think it's weird we haven't seen any people up to this point.
You're sounding kind of murky, Matt.
Oh, how about now?
Yeah, you were too far away from the mic or something.
How about now?
Yeah, it's
Better,
fine.
better.
Cool. There weren't any human stalls.
No, just animal.
And there's just a rock face. There's nothing else around it or anything.
No, and there's that weird thing where they drilled holes in the rock lips and then put like vines tying the lips together.
On the masks.
No, on this rock face.
On the rock face. Okay.
Is this
So
rock face climbable?
What was it?
Is it climbable?
Yeah, it's just like 20 feet high. It's not like
But there's like an effigy of a face.
Yeah.
Like that, right? It's a big face, or is it man-sized? So high up?
no, it's big. It's like I said, like 20 foot tall.
And they're sewn the lips shut with vines,
Yeah, like jungle vines.
which weren't there before.
Yeah, if you look at it, it does look like somebody had threaded the vines through there, and there's remnants of old vines, and there's some debris here and there, like on the foot of the thing where somebody had started some older vines.
And the
So it looks
face,
like nobody's been here for a while.
but the face is a human-looking face, or is it just a?
Yeah, it's a human-looking face.
Okay.
Very sort of like primitive human-looking. It's not like
But I mean, it's kind of abstract. It's not perfectly a human face. It just has eyes, nose, and
yeah.
a mouth
It's
with.
like if you think about like a bad version of Easter Island.
Okay. Are there any like scenes of like ash piles, like there might have been fires or some kind of ceremony performed around here?
Yeah, looking here, you don't see that.
I say, do one of you youngsters fancy a climb up there just to see what's up there? You might get a good view and you might be able to see the surrounding area a bit better.
Yeah, I'll give it a try. Not my greatest skill, but I can try doing it. I'll try climbing.
Because we've got some rope as well, haven't we?
Yeah, so I'll tie myself off, and that way if I fall, you guys can, pull my dead body along.
Yep, there you go.
Wow. I got a success.
Oh, okay. Why don't you do a spot hidden?
Then you see something horrible and roll some sand. No, I got a hard success.
So you're up there looking, and actually you see a small group of people, like maybe not too far, but you could see them. Like maybe if you guys walked maybe 15 minutes or so, you might find this group. And it looks like that group has encamped in an area.
Do they see us, or is it because my
No,
vantage
they
point?
don't see you. You see them because you're on top of this rock face.
All right, I come back down and say, I point in the direction of the group. In that direction, about 15 minutes away, there's a group of people. Looks like they're camped. So,
What sort of people? Did they look like this tribe, or were they more troops from?
could I make out that information?
They look like sort of natives, but you didn't see the big bowl things on their heads, because that shape you would make out, but it looked like they're more like natives.
Yeah, they just look like typical natives.
So I have something like this.
Let's see.
something like that. You know.
Okay.
Now maybe we should ask them if they know the big head, no mouth people.
Big head, no mouth people.
Yeah. Using those exact words.
The Mummershants tribe.
Yeah.
So, are you going to try to sneak up to them?
Sure.
Okay.
And then we can jump out and go, blah!
Yes. I'm sure. We're white people. I'm sure they're petrified.
Well, I found there is a rule for. They have a rule in this thing for the covert action. So, if you have the guy with the highest stealth, roll with the tradecraft.
All right, with the tradecraft.
So, one die roll, but what's your tradecraft?
My tradecraft is 74.
Okay, so that's a 70. So you roll once, and you have to make it tradecraft and your stealth, which means you're going to help these guys go through quietly too.
All right, let's see.
What do you roll?
I rolled a 15.
Oh, that's really good.
Which is an extreme. It's an extreme of my stealth, but my tradecraft it's 1 over.
Yeah, so
I made it anyway. It's a hard success of my tradecraft.
Yeah, so you have a hard tradecraft and an extreme stealth. So you basically, with the tradecraft, you're able to bring the whole team with you at your stealth level. So I didn't know that until I started reading the rules later. So in regular COC, I usually go for the ones with the lowest stealth and roll once, but with the tradecraft, it's almost like you're clearing the path and then showing them how to get, follow your trail out.
So I'm doing all the hand signs and pointing directions.
Like this way. Don't trip this wire. Don't step on this branch.
Everybody else says, "What the hell is he talking about? What's going on? What's he pointing? What does the fist mean?
Yeah.
I don't know."
And then you're brushing stuff off the path, right? So that's pretty cool. So basically, you succeed, and you're within. Like you're still in the brush, but you could see this group, and it looks like 4 or 5 local natives. They're not wearing any of the military uniform type of things, and they're carrying like spears, and some are carrying javelins, and some are carrying clubs.
All right, so how are we going to do this?
And it looks like they're around like a small fire of some sort, and maybe somebody's skinning like a animal or something like that, right?
Is that making you feel hungry again?
Oh yeah, very very hungry.
It's barbecued monkey.
It tastes just like chicken.
I sort of whisper to what's his name again? Lenny, is it? Do you know what these people are saying?
No, he says I think they're natives, but yeah, I don't understand what they're saying. But they're not the Taga.
Yeah, because no mad people. I'm going to step out.
Okay.
With my hands in the air, just to see what their reaction is.
So the reaction is when somebody notices you, he says something, everybody turns, and then they back up away from you, and a couple like put their spears between you and them, right? Type of thing, and then somebody says something in a language you don't know, and then somebody else says something, and there's like the standoff, right?
All right.
But they backed away when you showed up, like in surprise and.
Okay, I have my hands out, showing I have no weapons in them, even though I probably have my weapons on me. It's just I'm trying to be, hey everybody, let's be cool here. So I'll be groovy.
I'm going to point at the meat and make kind of eating motions with my mouth, just to make it look as if, eat, that kind of thing, just to try and gain their trust.
So one guy who looks like maybe in charge. They have this picture.
Wow. With a bone through the nose. Wow.
I know, this is so bad. That's why the photos make it a little more less stereotypical, right?
I was gonna say that's very ethnically sensitive.
Yes. he motions other people, and they all sort of lower their guard more, right? They're so cautious, but they're not pointing the points at you. It's more like pull the spears up. And then he says like maybe one word that I recognize as Portuguese, and then that's it. Like, and then Lenny says, "Oh, he said like friend, like the word friend or hello or something."
Mm.
Yeah, and I sort of nod back, going, "Yes, yes, friends."
And so they wave you to where they have the fire and they're cooking some bushmeat, I guess.
Yep.
All right. I reach into my backpack and pull out a candy bar from my army rations.
Yeah. So now they come over, they offer you the meat, but some of them are more touchy-feely, like going through your stuff.
You know.
Then I get
Gotta
those
keep an eye
papers.
on that.
I break off a piece of the chocolate bar and eat a little bit of it, and then pass it over to the leader.
Yeah. He takes it. He gives you the bushmeat, and he smiles.
Is it obviously a little animal of some kind, or is it like?
Oh, yeah. It's some animal.
Right.
It's not human meat.
Hey, we're cannibals. This is our grandma. She just died. Yeah.
Well, you know, most of those they usually burn the body and they eat the ashes. It really isn't.
I'm just like, dry aged.
We're eating our enemies to gain their strength, or something like that. You know, all right.
Well, either that or it's the final insult by crapping them out.
Yeah. It just seems that those cultures, it's either they're trying to get your strength or they're doing it as a honor. Remembering you somehow.
Yeah.
It's like all right. So.
Yeah. So they communicate through hand gestures. They only have a Portuguese of 5, so they probably only know a few words.
They only know the swear words. Like,
After we gain the trust for a while, I'll make like a gesture with my face. I'll put my hand over my mouth and then point up to the rock face where the heads move and the vines through the mouths, just to see what his reaction is.
And that's when he got kicked out.
Yeah, he looks at you a little puzzled and he shakes his head. He points to himself and shakes his head.
So you not is it Toga? Was it Toga? Was it
Taga? I think.
Tiger? You not Tiger?
He shakes his head when you say that. And then he takes his staff or his spear haft and he does this points to the sky and then moves his hand like east to west, and then stamps his staff 3 times on the ground, and then points like not quite where the face is, but like off a couple of degrees, and points in that direction.
Mm.
Toga bad. Just to see what he says.
Yeah, let me roll his 5%.
If they'd only thought.
He's like shaking his head. He said, Taga. Yeah, and then he repeats that, like, points in that direction. points at
So-
the sky, and then does like an arc from the east to the west, right?
So I'm getting that it's probably he does it 3 times.
Yeah. He stamps the staff 3 times, and then if you don't get that, he'll just do that 3 times in a row, right?
All right, so I'm guessing I'm just off the top of my head. He's probably saying it's 3 days travel in the direction he's pointing. Because he's doing east west 3 times, right?
Yeah.
So he's saying it's three rises of the sun
Mm.
and settings of the sun. Is what I'm getting, and he's pointing off in the direction where they went or where they are. So, but then again, I'm not an anthropologist or an archaeologist or a scientist, so take that for what it's worth.
No, it kind of makes sense though. Just trying to think how we would try and convey. You come with us, guide, and I'll sort of point at him, and then us, and then point in the direction of where he says they are.
Yeah, he shakes his head. The others look not too happy. But yeah.
Okay. They know. Well, at least we know what direction we've got to go in there. Shall we camp here the night and then head out the next day?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, sounds good to me too.
Safety in numbers and all. Although I think, like, sort of one of us should keep watch on the night to make sure these tribes people aren't just trying to steal some of our stuff from our bags.
Well, after a while, they actually pack up and leave. So they're not going to stay right here.
All right,
They're
so
heading in a different direction.
so we keep their fire going.
Yeah, they'll let you keep their fire if you want it.
And so we'll do. There's 5 of us, but I don't know if I trust the other 2 to not book it when we're sleeping. So, do you want to do 3 2-hour watches, or just risk waking up and finding the 2 guys who have left?
We can do the watches.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Okay, so you do watches. That's fine. In the morning, they're still there. So as you head in that direction, you notice that the foliage gets thicker, more vibrant. There's like the insects are bigger and
Yeesh.
and things like that. At some points, you have to take your parangs out and chop through the foliage. There are sometimes some faint trails that you see. But as each day passes, the jungle gets denser and denser and more lush. And at one point, the jungle overhead covers up the sunlight. Like there, you don't see any. You just get the green of the light going through the leaves, but you don't get direct sunlight anymore.
I turn to our quote guide unquote and say, "Hey, are you familiar with any of this?"
He goes, "No, I've never been here before."
All right.
And he actually, at one point, goes, "Since I'm no help anymore, maybe, can I have the papers?
No, we haven't gotten there yet.
Or maybe can I wait at the giant head? I'll wait for you there."
Yeah, no. That's not happening.
Are we kind of going in the direction of the mountains, or are we just kind of wandering around?
You're wandering on the mountains. You're already in the mountains somewhere.
Oh, we are in the mountains. Okay, I thought we were not there yet. No, we're in the foothills. All right.
Yeah, he's definitely disappointed you're not. He goes, I'm totally not useful anymore. I'm an old man. I'm slowing you guys down.
I'm an old man. If I can do it, you can do it.
But you're strapping Englishman. I'm poor Timorese, very small, very slight.
Yeah, but you were born here. You've been brought up with all the walking in this kind of environment. I haven't. I fly aeroplanes.
Well, I mean, then you also will be able to recognize when you come across any artifacts or anything that belongs to that first expedition. So you can tell us, hey, yes, that is this guy. This is the expedition.
So on the third day, at one point you hear a high-pitched scream of something in pain, but it sounds like maybe an animal screaming sound. I think is there a natural world or survival? I guess it's survival, which I guess you guys don't have, but still.
I got survival.
I got survival.
Oh, survival.
Yeah.
I failed.
Oh, I have some.
I made it by 2.
Okay.
Yeah, same for me.
Oh, so you recognize it's some sort of wild pig squeal.
Okay. It's like a pig.
It's being hurt, and it's up ahead.
Do we hear banjos as well?
No.
Ding, ding, oh, man.
Ding, ding, ding. And you hear some like thrashing about and stuff going up ahead.
All right, I'm going to try to stealth up.
Okay.
I'm going to pull out I'm going to pull out my pistol. I know that much.
All right, I got an extreme success. I rolled a 9.
Okay, so you come up and you see a guy fighting a pig, but let me show you a picture. You see this guy, he speared a pig, and now he's going at it with like a knife.
I suppose his mouth's sewn.
Yeah, is his mouth sewn shut, or is he just kind of puckering his lips?
Yeah, do a spot hidden.
Nope.
From where you are, you can't quite tell. Maybe you have to get closer, right? I assuming he's fighting in like some sort of small clearing, and then you're at the edge of the jungle that you can cover.
Can we all see this, or?
Oh yeah. So Charlie could roll.
I just rolled a 96, so I see jack shit.
You're like facing the wrong way. I don't see anything.
Too many trees in the way.
So what do you want to do?
Okay, so he's stabbing it. Does he appear to be... He's trying to kill it, but is he doing it in a way that is sportsmanlike or just malicious?
It's sportsmanlike. I mean...
Alright, well, I'm just going to watch him kill the pig and see what he does. And follow him.
So at one point, he actually... at one point he dispatches the pig. And then he goes and pulls the spear out of it. Then he starts dressing it, right? Because it's lighter once you remove the insides, right?
Yeah.
And then at one point he's done with that. Then he puts it over his shoulder.
I will attempt to follow him, sneaking.
Yeah.
So...
Do you want me to do that roll for the group thing again?
Yeah, if you want to bring everybody with you.
Yeah.
What's ladies' kind of reaction to this?
I got an extreme.
Oh, okay. So Lenny is just watching, like he probably didn't sneak up with you guys that much, but then you're bringing them all. He's like, see, you're following, so you don't see his face, right? So Lenny's like, it's not sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
The clothing does seem a little similar to that other group you saw, but
Does the village setup look the same at all?
you're still going along, and then at one point, you see there's a ridge, and he's heading towards that. And from a distance, why don't you guys do a spot hidden?
I haven't passed a single check tonight.
14, so I succeeded.
Oh,
I did not.
is it a hard? Or?
Yeah, that's a hard.
So on the ridge, you see a number of people that look like they're in uniforms. One guy's holding like a sword above his head, like a samurai sword.
Uh-oh.
And then there's some guy with a rifle with a bayonet, but they're not moving. They're just standing there.
So I'm going to assume those are some form of scarecrows or something that they've set
Yeah, so
up.
you see him go over the ridge and then down the other side. Past these figures.
All right, I creep up to the figures.
Yeah, they're now you get closer. It looks like old Japanese uniforms.
Like from World War II?
Yeah. And they're sort of dried out skeletons, like some are mummified skeletons. And they look like, one is carrying a samurai sword over his head, one's carrying a rifle with bayonet, some are more rifles. Some of them, like their arms fell off, and then you could see that there's some rifles on the ground, but they're old, rusty World War II rifles that have been sitting out in the jungle environment for like years.
Okay, so what's holding them up? Is it just they've been like frozen in place, or is there like actual some kind of rigging?
So you're like, huh? And you're like looking around, and yeah, nothing's holding them up.
That is weird.
Yeah, you don't see like sticks holding them up or anything like that.
I'm going to gently push one just to see if it's actually moving.
Okay. So
Pippin.
You touch one, and then suddenly, like they all start collapsing. Right where you touch it, it crumbles to dust, and then the whole group sort of crumbles to dust and falls down on the ground.
That's weird.
Wow. I sort of dust myself down to get all the bits off me.
Yeah, and this little cloud of body dust.
Nice.
There.
Sorry, guys. Inhaling dead Japanese soldiers.
I pull out my shirt collar to keep from breathing that in. That guy doesn't react to anything. He just keeps going. He's still walking down the slope.
I assume, you took time. He went down the other side, and then you guys were fucking around up here, right? So
yeah. When I go I'm going to go up to the ridge and look down and see if I can see him still.
Yeah, do your spot hidden. Did you get that? No. What do you get?
I'm not hearing you, Morgan.
Oh, really? You can't hear me?
I can hear you both.
Yeah, same here.
Whoa, okay. All right, my cat stepped on my volume. Damn cat.
So what's your spot hidden?
I'm sorry. Ooh, I rolled an 11.
Oh, okay. So he's further, like he's halfway down this hill. So,
All right.
but you figure if he turned around and looked, he would see the figures are gone.
All right. So I'm going to try to still follow him, but be sneaky.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll again, or just continue going?
No,
Or?
just continue.
All right.
Okay. So then, as you go down the other side of the hill, it gets darker, and then it starts to rain.
Great.
It's one of those bucket rains, right? It's dumping buckets. You can only see a couple feet ahead of you. And then you hear a shriek.
Oh.
But you realize the shriek is like amongst you.
Oh,
And
no.
Amongst us.
Yeah, it's a Lenny.
God damn it.
He's screaming
What's going on?
and he's running into the jungle.
No, he's not.
What set him off?
Probably just the rain. He's sort of giving him flashbacks because he can't see very well in it, and like he did in the mist, I suppose.
Okay, can I jump on him to make sure that he doesn't to run into the
Yeah,
jungle?
you do your grapple.
Okay.
I've got my gun drawn, and I'm just keeping an eye on the path.
I got an 18. So,
Oh.
yeah.
So yeah, he didn't dodge you. You actually grab him and tackle him.
Yes, and then I'm putting my hand over his mouth and telling him, "Shut up." We didn't sneak all this way just for you to sound an alarm bell when we got this close, just because of a little rain.
Yeah, he's like trying to get away. His eyes are all wide, and he's like in total panic, right?
Yeah, and then I'm gonna say, "What the hell is going on?" I'm not taking my hand off your mouth unless you're gonna be quiet. I need a concise answer.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait a while before he calms down. He'll eventually calm down. And then after a while, he goes, I told you my story. This is the same wind, the same rain.
Mm-hmm. And I said, "Good. That means we're on the right track then."
We're going to die.
Well, we're not gonna die. I said, keep up what you're doing. I'm sure you'll end up having a self-fulfilling prophecy off of that. And like I said, and like I said, is the other guy not freaking out?
The other guy's nervous, but he's still with you guys. And
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna look at the other two. Okay. So are we gonna carry on or camp out?
I fancy camping. I mean, what time of day is it now?
it's probably starting to be evening.
I mean, we could press on a bit further to see if this is going to end at some point in by a village, maybe.
Yeah. I'm not exactly expecting the village to be particularly friendly. But yeah, we should. I think we might be able to press on a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he calms down. Eventually, you start going through this rain and everything, and then a figure steps out onto the direction you're going. Let me see. Obviously, a native.
Uh-oh.
This guy.
That guy looks so trustworthy.
Yeah, he has a spear. He steps on the trail ahead of you. He's in front, facing you. He
Yeah.
has a spear, but he puts the spear on the ground.
All right.
You could, and he says a word in Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
And Lenny and the Chinese guy both, well, translate to friend. And you could do a spot hidden.
He doesn't have his mouth.
Yeah, I see that stitch marks around his lips.
Oh, okay.
I've passed.
But yeah, I passed it too.
Yeah, you notice that there's like little dots of blood around his lips.
Does it look fresh or does it look?
Yeah, like it's welling up a little, and maybe you can see light scarring on his lips and stuff. Like maybe his lips have been sewn shut together before, but maybe he had just cut them open, right? Cut open the stitching and pulled out the thread.
Mm,
Blam,
Not-
bam.
not to be trusted, I don't think.
Well, can I do a psychology check on him?
On
On the native, see if he's on the level.
yeah.
Yeah. 10. So that's an extreme.
Yeah, he looks earnest. I mean, you put the spear down. I mean, you figure you got pretty brave to do that.
I don't know, I don't trust him because he's obviously one of these people because he's took out, you know.
Does he look like does he seem like he's afraid at all?
It's a mixture, right? It's a mixture of a little bit afraid, like, but also there's some sort of. It looks like he wants something from you guys, but you're not sure what.
Maybe interrogate him as best as we can, and
Okay,
then make a better mind.
Well, here's a better thing. And if we could have the guys, he obviously at least knows that word in Portuguese. If his Portuguese is as good as the other natives, this is going to be difficult. But we can give it a shot.
Okay, so he says friend again, and he's waiting for you guys to respond.
I'm gonna grab his spear.
You're gonna go try to grab his spear.
Yeah.
Roll your dex.
Oh, great. 96.
Wow.
So he picks it up before you get to it, and he's like shaking his head, and he says friend again.
If your friend put the spear down, and I point at the floor.
Yeah, he's not going to give up his spear to you.
and okay, and also does this guy look like the guy that we were following here?
No, it's a different person.
It's a different person.
All right.
Okay. And okay, can we kind of have some more? Can we kind of point to the area around his mouth and everything on our face, and just kind of be like, what happened?
Toga?
Yeah.
He says like a couple of phrases in Portuguese,
Huh.
Okay.
and Lenny translates. And he says he wants to be our friend.
Okay.
So then he looks at you and goes, "Do you want me to say friend back or?"
Asking why he wants to be our friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lenny translates and everything, and basically he comes out. He says tribe under evil spell of chief.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
He
Alright.
wants friends to help kill chief.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. We're in.
We're-
Kill someone. All right. Say no more.
Where do we sign up?
Yep.
And so you hear Lenny say the word friend to him.
All right.
Um,
Okay. Lead the way.
Okay,
ask,
so-
Actually, before we go, ask him. I don't know how we would actually put this across about Mason. Because they're obviously not going to know the guy's name.
Well, he might. I don't know.
Because it happened so many years ago, this guy is probably not going to know who he is anyway, because he probably wasn't even born then. Yeah,
Yeah, we could ask him about about it to see if he remembers anything about an expedition.
Yeah, he's like in his 30s, so he probably, unless I told stories, he probably hasn't seen anything, right? But you could ask.
Yeah, give it a shot.
So what do you want to ask? No, I basically saying this.
Yeah, just I'm like, did you hear stories about an expedition a long time ago? Through this place, people like us coming through here.
So he thinks about it, and he nods.
And okay, do you know what happened to them?
And he tells something to Lenny, and Lenny says something like, he says if you kill the chief, he can show you where they are.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Not exactly having much choice with this at the moment.
I don't think it's going to be as simple as just shooting him. I think it's going to be a little bit more involved.
Yeah. It always is.
So I think I'll take you to the village, and then we'll stop there because we can't finish the rest of this in the next 20 minutes. So take you to a village. The village.
Sure, you can walk up. Is that the chief? All right, bang.
Village. You see a clearing, 2 longhouses. There's children and women in the area. I have a picture.
They all stitched up, huh?
Wow, that's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're all stitched up, actually. Well, in the picture, it doesn't look like it.
No, they're not stitched up.
This is kind of freaky. They have the ends.
Yep, exactly.
If I see that, my character kind of shudders because he's seen that before.
Yeah, my character.
Those are like grass skirts, I think. So,
yeah, but it's the faces with the
fish lips.
The fish lips.
Yeah.
One long house. There are 2 guards. The guards wear these weird bowl things.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Oh wow, it's like Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Which is weird because they don't have a mouth, but they drew the mouth.
Yeah, put a mouth on it.
Yep.
So are there slits for eyes, or there's where?
Yeah, there are holes where the eyes are, so that you can see through. But
wait, those look like claws. They have claws, or they have fingers?
They have fingers.
But no, they're ethnic people. They have claws.
Long fingernails.
Yeah, exactly.
Guarding the entrance to one of the longhouses. They also carry javelins. And then as you guys come in the clearing, one of them sees you guys.
Oh,
of course. And of course he shouts out something, and I think maybe this is a good place to
stop.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will get my sort of weapons cards ready for next session.
So yeah, we'll start off with combat right off the bat. When we come
Yep.
back.
How come I never think to requisition grenades?
That's too late. So you
I know.
way back when.
Yeah.
I know. I should say, hey, can I do grenades? No.
Should have requisitioned a cruise missile, man.